Just as the nebulas are heating up gases with the help of gravity to give birth to new stars for the expansion to progress, we are also at work on our own level using the instrumentality of a human life to produce souls for the universal project. This therefore makes the human life an investment which must produce value at its end, else will be counted as a wasted investment.
Welcome to Epignosis, the teaching ministry of Grace Morka. May the light of God illuminate your heart, and may the truth make you free as you listen.
When we as humans make our entry into this microcosm we call the physical dimension, we are as workers on an expedition of discovery. We come here as agents working for a higher authority to drive the expansion of a universal empire that has spanned timeless ages and going through limitless expansion in space. Cosmologists have found that the known universe is not a stagnant thing, but an ever-expanding body of countless stars, planets, ice, galaxies, and clouds of gas called nebula. No one is totally sure what is driving this expansion, but the hypothesis of the Big Bang Theory has been postulated as a possible reason for this continuous expansion. But then, this theory doesn't really account for the fact that new stars continue to be born within the nebulas, and the galaxies continue to get bigger and more populated. It is therefore obvious that something much more intelligent and purposeful is pulling the strings that is driving this mammoth beast. Physical science is clueless of the existence of this higher influence due to the fact that they operate within the limited purview of three dimensions. The power driving the physical world will have to be higher than the physical, therefore making it impossible to examine from a physical standpoint. However, those of us who are on the spiritual side of things are privy to matters which go beyond the physical, making us the only ones who can truly say what controls the universe. Going back to my initial point, that we as humans are agents of a higher authority sent into this dimension to work for the interest of a higher purpose which is behind this great universal project. Just as the nebulas are heating up gases with the help of gravity to give birth to new stars for the expansion to progress, we are also at work on our own level using the instrumentality of a human life to produce souls for the universal project. This therefore makes the human life an investment which must produce value at its end, else will be counted as a wasted investment. Every person on this planet has been sown as a seed with an expectation that at the end of our lifetime here, a new soul will be added to the expansion. It becomes important then that we make the time we have to spend here count at whatever level we might find ourselves. It is not the level at which you have been placed as individuals that matter, but that you make good use of the time you have been given on that level. Many times we look to be elevated in position, supposing that it is doing something seen as important that matters. But I can tell you that importance, as seen by humans, is a shadow of the reality. Every single activity within the Great Expansion Project is equally important to the progress of the entire work. The production of a soul within your lifetime is no less important than the birth of a star, which is millions of times larger than this earth. Size is of no importance in this thing, down to the little ant and even bacteria. Everyone has their role. As we said earlier, time is the main resource that has been given to everyone. Just as it is with space, time is also not measured in importance by magnitude. It takes a nebula millions of years to give birth to one star, as it takes the spirit between weeks and decades to produce a soul. There are insects whose entire lifetime lasts just days, and there are creatures who exist for just hours or even seconds. Whether it is nanoseconds, years, decades, or millenniums, time is time. This means that we are given just enough time that our assignment requires. Now, with these thoughts in mind, let us see time as an allotment given in predetermined portions for a purpose within the great universal work. If you have a few decades or just a few seconds, the most important thing is to make it count. Do not believe that your time with the assignment must be your entire lifetime. There are some assignments that may take just a few days to accomplish, but will still have as much impact as roles which took decades to accomplish. You may be tasked with giving encouragement to someone who is going through difficulties. Their greatest need may not be material, but emotional, which, if they are not given, might hinder them from accomplishing their own part of the work. So helping that person's emotional rehabilitation can then be considered as an integral part of whatever task that person has been assigned to do, regardless of how big it may be. In other words, if you didn't help the person with their emotions, then that big work would never have been possible. This is exactly how it all fits together to make this great work possible. We need to get to the place in our lives where we stop thinking ourselves to be mere individuals working for our selfish goals, but more as being part of a universal whole for a grander purpose. It will not always make sense to you while you have been given a particular assignment, but it will certainly be an addition to what God is trying to bring into existence. Sometimes the work you may be doing could be to serve a purpose that is beyond your lifetime and space, yet plays a significant role in the development of the universal project. A good example is Abraham, who was called to leave his country to an unknown place. He had no idea the significance of his relocation, but obeyed anyway. Little did he know that the plan was to establish not only a kingdom, but several kingdoms from that movement alone. He was also promised that he would have a son, but he didn't understand that the son being spoken of is not going to be born directly to him, but thousands of years into the future by his descendants. for the redemption of the human race as a whole, which is Christ. Think about it. He was asked to simply move in his time, but it was ultimately to impact the whole of humanity in a later time. We never know what the little assignment we have been given today will result to in the distant future. Generations and thousands of people's lives could be hanging on the little assignment you have been given now. So never play with whatever time you have to do anything. Just make it count. Are you in a relationship with a friend? Make it count. Are you married to someone? Make it count. Do you work somewhere? Make it count. You have been given a child to parent? Just make it count. Are you pastoring people? Whether it is 10 people or 10,000 people, it doesn't matter. Make it count. If you meet someone for just a few minutes, let those few minutes count for something in their lives. Do not waste your time with anyone in malice and strife. Stop looking to do something big, because no big things exist in this tiny planet. Our planet is a very tiny part of a huge whole. So how can a big thing come out of a tiny thing? Just be aware that nothing on this planet is of much consequence in the grand scheme of things. Just do what you can with whatever part you have been given and leave the rest to others. Just make it count. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless you.
We hope you were blessed by these teachings. For inquiry, support, and contributions, kindly send us an email on epicgnosis721@gmail.com. You can also send us a message via WhatsApp on 234-80-3577-3659. We would love to hear from you. God bless you.